Not everything that archaeologists and historians discover makes them happy. Sometimes the artifacts or objects they uncover disrupt what we thought we knew about the past, and not in a way most of them imagine. Like it or not, these new truths must be accepted for what they are, even when they challenge long-held beliefs or reshape our entire view of history. Here, in this video, we're going to look at the 15 ancient artifacts that will make you rethink history. Let's begin it with number 15, King Tut's cursed trumpets. Inside King Tut's tomb, there are two ancient trumpets. One is silver and one is bronze. They've been there for centuries. But these weren't simply ceremonial ornaments. They were real instruments, likely used to rally soldiers and signal battle. When one was first played in 1939, the BBC broadcast its eerie tone across the world, and months later, World War II erupted. Was it a coincidence? But then, it happened again. In 1967, one trumpet sounded before the Six-Day War. Again in 1990, shortly before the Gulf War. Then, in 2011, just ahead of the Egyptian Revolution. That pattern has made some believe these trumpets carry a supernatural link to unrest and war. Egyptologists remain divided. Some dismiss the idea entirely, others tread more carefully. Still, with each new conflict that follows a performance, the legend deepens. Maybe the link is psychological, maybe it's timing, or maybe some things aren't meant to be played with. Either way, these trumpets are no longer viewed as artifacts. They're seen as bad omens. Number 14, the Enuma Elish well. Before you say anything, this thing is 100% real. 7 clay tablets, pulled from Ashurbanipal's ancient library, etched in dense Akkadian script. What they contain isn't just myth or fabricated tales, it's a worldview. The Enuma Elish tells the Babylonian origin story, not with gentle gods creating peace, but with blood, chaos, and power grabs. At its heart is Marduk, who defeats the chaos goddess Tiamat, an ancient sea force, mother of gods, and then uses her torn-apart body to form the world. Well, not born out of love or design, but conquest. The heavens, the earth, and even humanity itself are shaped from that brutal victory. Marduk doesn't just win, he rewrites existence. He assigns cosmic roles, declares dominion, and defines humans as workers for the divine. Some experts say this tale was recited in temple rituals, and others call it ancient political branding. They meant to legitimize Babylon's rise, but either way, it's not just a story, it's a manifesto, a raw blueprint for power, order, and a mysterious purpose written in clay. Number 13, Nampa figurine. Well, let's go back to hundreds of years ago. Nampa, 1889. A crew was drilling a well when something weird surfaced. 300 feet deep, a tiny clay figure emerged from the earth. It was human-shaped, decorated, and deliberately crafted. But here's the strange thing. The soil layer it came from was estimated at over 2 million years old. According to the timeline we've built, no human should have been there. Some called it a hoax. Others claimed it fell from a higher layer. But its detail and fragility suggest otherwise. How did something so delicate survive the pressure and depth? Creationists pointed to it as proof of early man. Scientists mostly ignored it. The figurine ended up in the Idaho State Historical Society, where it still sits, neither confirmed nor debunked. It's one of those cases that won't die quietly. Either it's a misplacement of history, or it's one small figure casting a very large shadow over everything we think we know. Number 12, Romano-British cosmetic grinders. Among the more mysterious artifacts from Roman Britain are cosmetic grinders, small, two-part bronze tools used to crush unknown substances. Dating from 100 BCE to 200 CE, These sets include a grooved mortar and matching pestle, sometimes decorated with animals, phallic symbols, or sacred motifs, possibly suggesting fertility or ritual links. Unlike Roman pallets, which used scoops and stones, these grinders worked with a sideways rubbing motion. But what's actually baffling isn't their design, but it's their purpose. There are no confirmed traces of their contents that have ever been identified by anyone. Some experts believe they held aphrodisiacs or herbal medicine, while others think they were used to prepare hallucinogens or exotic cosmetics. The mystery remains unsolved. Were they daily beauty tools or instruments of spiritual practice? We still don't know. What we do know is this: something was ground into those ancient grooves, and whatever that thing was, it mattered enough to carve it into ritual. Number 11. The Judean stone masks. These creepy and strange 9,000-year-old stone masks unearthed in the Judean desert are among the oldest human faces ever carved, and their purpose still stirs debate. Unlike crude early tools, these masks feature hauntingly lifelike details, like shaped cheekbones, carved mouths, and hollow eyes. These are clearly made to be worn, but who wore them and why is a mystery. Some scholars believe they played a role in spiritual ceremonies, perhaps allowing wearers to channel deities or ancestral spirits. Others argue they were part of secret initiation rites, transforming identity during ritual events. What's certain is these weren't ornaments or idol sculptures. They were carved with intention and effort, likely carrying deep symbolic weight. The craftsmanship suggests reverence, not randomness. And while we may never know the full meaning behind them, their presence offers a rare, almost eerie glimpse into a prehistoric belief system lost to time. These aren't just artifacts, they're echoes of faces that once lived like us. Number 10. The Cascajal Block. The Cascajal Block was uncovered in 1990 in Veracruz, not during a formal dig, but mixed into construction debris. It's a flat stone slab engraved with symbols unlike anything previously recorded in Mesoamerican archaeology. Some researchers argue it represents the earliest known writing system in the Americas, possibly created by the Olmec civilization around 1000 BCE. If true, it would predate all other regional scripts by centuries. But skepticism remains strong. The discovery context raised eyebrows, and the glyphs don't follow familiar writing layouts. They appear in rows, yet lack a clear reading order. Supporting artifacts found nearby suggest an ancient origin, but the block itself stands alone. Some symbols resemble animals or plants, while others are abstract and difficult to categorize. A few repeat often, hinting at structured meaning or coincidence. Without a second example, debate stalls. Until another block surfaces, the Cascajal artifact remains suspended between breakthrough and question mark. Number 9. The Sabo sword. This sword was discovered way back in 1825 at Sabo 7 in Norway's Sogn region, and it stands out for one rare reason: metal inlay near the hilt that appears to form runic symbols. The blade itself is fragile, and the inscription is faint, but experts believe it may be the only known Viking Age sword with runes embedded directly into the blade. British archaeologist George Stevens studied the weapon and recorded 5 runic characters, along with a swastika symbol linked to Thor in Norse tradition. Stevens interpreted the runes as meaning "owned by me," though that reading remains debated. The presence of a swastika is especially unusual for Viking weaponry and may suggest ritual or symbolic use rather than combat. Whether the sword belonged to a warrior, a ceremonial figure, or someone deeply religious is still unknown. Well, with no comparable examples, the Sabo sword continues to resist a definitive explanation. Number 8. Monstrance. In 2023, A Catholic monstrance was uncovered in the forest district of Landkut during a planned archaeological survey. The artifact, used to display the Blessed Sacrament, was found broken into 3 pieces and deliberately buried. It's made of gilded and silvered brass and is believed to date back to the 19th century. The discovery was made by Klaus Kulock, with approval from local conservation authorities, allowing a full excavation to follow. Despite its relatively recent age, the object's history is completely unknown. Experts are still trying to identify which church it came from and why it was hidden underground. No records explain its burial, damage, or removal from religious use. That's what makes the find weird. Objects like this were normally documented and carefully preserved. Instead, this one was concealed, as if meant to disappear. Even at only 2 centuries old, the monstrance carries a silence that history hasn't yet explained. Number 7. Bronze Buddha. In northwestern Australia, 2 filmmakers scanning the ground with metal detectors made an unexpected find: a small bronze statue believed to depict Buddha. The figure's style suggests it could date to China's Ming dynasty, which lasted from 1368 to 1644. If accurate, the statue would point to Chinese contact with Australia centuries before European arrival. That idea, however, is hotly debated. Critics argue the statue may have been brought by Chinese pearlers during the late 19th or early 20th century, when Asian maritime traffic was well documented. Still, the discovery feeds into broader claims about Ming treasure fleets and long-distance exploration. Former Chinese President Hu Jintao once stated that Chinese sailors reached Australia in the early 1400s. The statue neither proves nor disproves that claim, but it complicates the timeline. With no firm context for how it arrived, the Buddha remains an object that doesn't sit comfortably within Australia's accepted historical narrative. Now, let's move to number 6, Pakal's sarcophagus lid. At first sight, and it's just a beautiful Maya carving, rich with cosmic symbolism and ancient precision. But the lid of Pakal the Great's tomb, discovered in Palank's Temple of the Inscriptions, has caused decades of heated debate. Maya scholars interpret the scene as deeply spiritual, Pakal falling into the underworld, framed by the world tree, surrounded by symbols of death and rebirth. But in 1968, Eric von Daniken looked at it and saw something else. Pakal reclining like an astronaut, hands on controls, feet angled as if braced inside a spacecraft. The detail, the angles, the symmetry, he compared it to a space capsule. Critics laughed, scholars dismissed it, but the idea stuck. While archaeologists see mythology, others claim it's a schematic, evidence of something lost or hidden. Maybe it's religious, maybe technological, maybe both. But whatever the truth is, that lid still pulls eyes. And no matter how many books say case closed, that image continues to launch questions skyward. Number 5, the unlucky mummy and the Titanic legend. Now this one is bone-chilling. In the late 1800s, an ancient Egyptian coffin lid, featuring the face of a high-ranking priestess, was transported from Thebes to London. Soon after, those connected to it began suffering bizarre misfortunes. Deaths, illness, and financial disasters followed the artifact like a shadow. The press dubbed it the unlucky mummy. But the legend didn't stop there. As the story grew, rumors claimed the mummy was aboard the Titanic and that its curse sank the ship. That part isn't true. It never left the British Museum. Yet the real trail of strange events surrounding the artifact isn't so easy to dismiss. At museum workers, researchers, and even journalists who got too close reported eerily timed accidents and unexplained tragedy. The Titanic story may be fiction, but the energy around this artifact feels too odd to ignore. Sometimes it's not about believing in curses, it's about how many people believe something is wrong. and that alone can give power to the unknown. Now let's move to number 4, the Despilio tablet. Now, this is simply mind-blowing. Back in 1993, archaeologists digging near Lake Castoria in northern Greece unearthed a fragment of ancient wood, just a slab with etched symbols. But radiocarbon dating told a different story. This was no ordinary artifact by any mean. It was over 7,200 years old, making it one of the oldest known wooden inscriptions ever found. The markings don't match any known script. Not Linear A, not Greek, not Sumerian. It's completely isolated with no other examples to offer clues. If this truly is a form of early writing, it predates much of what we thought possible for the region. That's unsettling. Greece has always been proud of its historical legacy, but this tablet could suggest a whole forgotten chapter. No one has cracked the code. The symbols could be phonetic, pictorial, or something else entirely. But without more pieces, the language and the good people behind it remain out of reach. Number 3, mysterious discoveries of Norway. As Norway's glaciers slowly melt, they've begun revealing more than ice. They're uncovering thousands of years of hidden human history. Over 4,500 artifacts have surfaced, from worn tools and stitched clothing to wooden carvings and even human remains. Many of these finds come from Lendbreen, once a bustling trade route for Vikings and medieval travelers. Items left behind by hunters and merchants now lie exposed. Arrows, leather shoes, and even entire tunics. One stunning discovery: arrows with their original fletchings still intact, a rare survival since organic materials usually decay. Even stranger, some arrowheads were forged from foreign metals, suggesting trade connections that reached far beyond local borders. These finds hint at a rich, interconnected culture previously underestimated. And this is just the beginning. Every summer, as more ice vanishes, new secrets come to light. Each object carries a fragment of life once lived. Bit by bit, the glacier hands back history. Quietly, piece by frozen piece. Number 2, the Enochian language. In the late 1500s, a John Dee, a royal advisor and mathematician, claimed he was doing more than studying the stars. Alongside Edward Kelly, he said he'd made contact with angels, and they spoke a language no human had heard in centuries. That language became Enochian. It had its own alphabet, grammar, and structure, fully formed, not gibberish. They claimed the angels dictated it to them during scrying rituals, where they'd stare into polished crystals or dark mirrors to receive messages. Most historians dismiss the whole thing as fantasy or fraud. But here's the odd part. The language works. It follows consistent rules, can be learned, and scholars have even translated portions of it. Was it divine, or just a remarkably inventive construction? We may never know. But whether it came from the heavens or the minds of two eccentric visionaries, an Enochian remains one of the strangest and most complete channeled languages in recorded history. It doesn't just blur the line between myth and reality, it rewrites it. Number 1, Neolithic stone balls. In Scotland's Ness of Brodgar, archaeologists found something odd and otherworldly. They discovered Neolithic stone spheres over 5,000 years old, each carved with intricate, distinct patterns. And here's the strange part: no two are alike. The precision is incredible, especially considering the limited tools of the time. But it's their unknown purpose that makes them truly baffling. Some researchers suspect they were weapons. Others lean toward ritual use, power symbols, or even early mathematical tools. A few believe they were used in ceremonial games, but without written records, that's just educated guesswork. What deepens the mystery is how widespread they are. Similar carved balls have been uncovered throughout Scotland. That means they weren't an isolated curiosity. They meant something. Someone made these on purpose, with care, and for a reason important enough to be passed between people and across generations. We may never know the full story, but one thing's clear. These objects held a purpose far beyond decoration, now frozen in time like quiet questions. We hope you found this video super interesting. Thanks for hanging with us, and be sure to like it and subscribe.